It's that time of year again. Mel Kiper releases his mock draft 1.0. Let's take a look at who he has the Jets selecting and mock the mock. Jets, Jets! Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, I really enjoy the Mock of the Mock series because it allows me to look at multiple opinions from high up insiders at the NFL level, the ESPN level, the college level, all those different things, and see where people's heads are at and where they're ranking different prospects. Because right now, I don't know where I'm going to rank all these prospects at this point in time. So we're going to learn the prospects together. We're going to go through these different mock drafts as they come about. So without further ado, let's jump into Mel Kiper's mock 1.0. So here are the first 12 picks before the New York Jets select at number 13 overall. The important thing I think I want to key in on this particular top 12 is that he has 4 quarterbacks going here: CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis, and Anthony Richardson. I would be very, very happy to see 4 quarterbacks go in front of the New York Jets. Anyone that can get pushed up higher. So like defensive players and like quarterbacks, I'm like, send them all to the top, all to the top rung, because I don't want any of those. I would prefer players to kind of slip and fall down here. The other thing I want to take a look at here is the tackles. He has 2 of the top 3 tackles going. So obviously Skoronski going to the Raiders. I still feel like, this is the second time we've seen this happen. I feel like we're going to see Gronkowski and Brady wind up as a tandem going to Vegas. So I think it makes sense to draft a tackle to try and keep that quarterback upright for a potential Super Bowl push. I do think that makes a lot of sense. Paris Johnson Jr., he's a really, really good tackle. I think he's probably my number 1 right now. He winds up going to the Titans just 1 or 2 picks in front of the New York Jets. My concern here is that Texans number 12 pick. And I've mentioned it before. If there's a situation where the Bears want to drop down from 1 down to number 2, and the Texans are trying to sweeten the pot so that way no one else can beat them and their division rival doesn't leapfrog them in to get the 1 pick, I could see a situation where the Texans give up the 12 pick to move up that 1 slot to prevent their division rival from getting the franchise quarterback that they may want. So for me, I don't love this because I think there's a real possibility that the Bears could take a tackle to protect Justin Fields at number 12. But the way this has fallen right now is actually pretty good. I do like the way this would fall if everything falls without trades and whatnot. So with that said, he has the Jets selecting wide receiver out of Ohio State, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Now, this is not a pick I like at all. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of this move whatsoever. It would be cool to pair him back up with Garrett Wilson, both Ohio State wide receivers. You could talk about, this guy had enormous statistics. He actually had one of the best wide receiver seasons, if not the best wide receiver season, playing as the 3rd wide receiver to Olave and Garrett Wilson. In 2021, had 95 receptions, 1,600 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So the guy is able to produce, but he hasn't stayed healthy. I mean, the only season we've got to see him really was in 2021 when you had Olave and you had Garrett Wilson. So was he getting the advantage of being, the 3rd option on a really good team? I think that's probably the case. Now, most of this season, he was held out with a hamstring injury. It's not something I particularly like because I don't love injuries on a team that, has had to deal with a lot of injuries. So I don't particularly like this at all. Not to mention 83% of his snaps in his college career have come from the slot. And if you have Elijah Moore and you think he might be something, which I think he is and I think he can grow into, why would I create a logjam that I would be, in theory, trying to get out of with the whole Braxton Berrios sort of thing? We've already had to deal with that. I'm not investing a 1st-round pick in a slot receiver that has injury concerns. Not something for me. He's a crisp route runner, which is good, I guess, for more of a slot. He's good at tracking the ball down the field, but I don't see the explosion at all. I do not see the burst from him at all. This is not like watching Olave or Garrett Wilson. Like this to me, for me, when I'm looking at Smith-Njigba, I'm thinking of him maybe as wide receiver 4. I would not touch this guy in the 1st round. I don't have a problem with the Jets not going offensive tackle in the first round. I think it's probably the direction I would go because of all the issues we've had. But let's say all 3 tackles go ahead of him and the Jets have to make another move. I'm either trading down or I'm going to select maybe a wide receiver that provides something that our current core does not currently provide. And if Jackson Smith-Njigba is the first wide receiver off the board, we have done something wrong. Quentin Johnston, the receiver from TCU, is like 6'5". If you're going to go out and get a receiver, get the guy that doesn't match up with anyone on the team. That way you're not creating these log jams altogether. So for me, I do not like this pick. I would be very upset if the Jets made him the selection. I don't think it would be very wise. But guys, let me know your thoughts of the selection down below in the comments. Do you like taking a receiver in the first round? Is there any situation where you'd be okay passing over one of the top 3 tackles? Where would you go if all 3 tackles were gone? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets. Jets!